Thanks for tuning in, and welcome to Norman's Broadcast, a broadcast from Melbourne, Australia, that showcases a multiple streams approach to values, emotions, and willingness in life, for life matters in these uncertain times. This show is brought to you by Norman with his unique point of view and is born from his accumulated experience, perspective in multicultures, food, art, and more. Now let's welcome your host, Norman, and his guests.
Hello world, welcome to Norman's Broadcast live from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for all your comments last week. The feedback is so important to us to see what you all want, because you all are my audience, and I do this because of you. Love each one of you. So thank you, Brenda from Canada. Thank you, Lloyd from Chicago. Thank you for all my Melbourne people. And today is a great show. I have a creative individual who has spent a lot of time with the Indigenous community in Australia. So first of all, before starting, I would like to pay my respects to the Burrong people of the Burrong Nation whose land we are on. And now I will introduce to you my friend and a good bloke, Mr. Michael Farah.
Hi Norman, how are you?
Good, thanks, Michael. Michael, good to see you. Looking sharp, man. What's happening in ISO?
Thanks, man. You're looking sharp yourself too.
As I said, Michael, you are a person with such great diversity. Tell us how you went into these communities. Not many people get the opportunity to do this.
Well, yeah, I'll start from how it all came about. Really, from me being a dancer from a very young age, at 8 years old, discovering that I like to move. I like to keep the energies going, release energy through dance. That's what I discovered. I was quite naughty at school because I couldn't sit still. I discovered dance. I discovered sports. Yeah, still can't sit still. I discovered sports. Discovered athletics in particular. I loved playing cricket, AFL, soccer, any sport that came. But I focused on athletics for a little while, but I always danced. I was in the era of the 80s where breakdance, hip hop and breakdance came to Australia via TV. So it was, video hits, Lionel Richie's All Night Long, the song, when that came on, I got inspired by the guys that were doing the dancing on that. I just practiced at home. Then I started working in the nightclub scene, just doing freestyle dance is what they call it. I stopped for about 10 years and then restarted when I was about 28, 29 years old. And I started a project back then with the local community of my area. It was actually called the Arab Project, which is stood for Anti-Racism Action Band. And from that, the organization Beyond Blue discovered the positive work that we were doing in these communities or these area here in Melbourne. We had about nearly 200 teenagers in the program that brought all their cultures together to showcase their different backgrounds. So we had over 52 different nationalities, and we had all type. So it was all different religions, different nationalities, all teenagers from high schools that came together. They showcased their cultural ways, but I taught them the hip hop stuff, which demonstrated what happens in modern Australia. And modern Australia looks a little bit like if you're an international, whether you're born here, but you've grown up with a cultural diversity. So my background is I'm Lebanese Australian. I was born here in Australia. I obviously speak English. I went to all the schools here, but I was also raised culturally by my family, language, food, dances. I know my cultural dances. I play the cultural instruments of Lebanon, and I do the traditional dance, but I was also raised the Australian way, if you want to call it that.
What took you to the other side with the Indigenous community, and in what part of your life did you move there, Michael?
So what happened when that program, Beyond Blue, supported that program, the Arab project, that actually sent me to go to a thing called the Croc Fest, the Croc Festival, which is essentially like the Rock of Stedford, but for remote communities all over Australia. And it was very specific to the Indigenous people of Australia. So I had the opportunity to work with the Arab project, Beyond Blue, to go out and talk about mental health, so depression, anxiety, to the youth, to say, hey, look, if you're ever feeling down, talk to someone about it. Don't be caught in this by yourself. You can talk to yourself, talk to your family, friends, and then if that doesn't help, it's okay to go see a professional. So go see a doctor about it. Don't stay in that way of being for too long, because it can make you sick. And
let me explain what's Beyond Blue. Our listeners may not know. Beyond Blue is a program which is run in Australia for mental health. And it's starting from, we have Headspace, which is for the youth, and then even for the adolescents, if you want, there's Headspace, and then we go to Beyond Blue. And especially now in these hard times, I was just reading the paper the other day, it is increased to about 100%. People are in, because of the situation we are in now, people are going to get help from Beyond Blue. Michael did this how many years ago? He was there. How many years ago was that, Michael, when you did this program?
I started that when I was 30, so that's nearly 20 years ago. I'll be 50 this year. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Years ago, Beyond Blue.
Yeah, nearly. That's right. Yeah, nearly 20 years ago. So it was the program. Just so we get an idea of the anti-racism program that led me into the Indigenous hip hop program. Basically, that program started because of September 11, and I believe everyone knows what happened with September 11. So the local youth in our area, a lot of them having Middle Eastern background or Islamic background, they weren't going to school because there was a lot of bullying, a lot of teasing because of what happened with September 11.
Wow.
And that's how the program developed. That program developed to give something to the youth so that they can feel and start working together. Doesn't matter what background you're from, what cultural background, and that it's okay if we all listen to each other's stories so that we can move forward, because essentially we're living in Australia and we need to try to work together so that people aren't getting teased, they're not getting bullied, they're not getting to the point where they're feeling that sad about who they are, right? Whether it's a religious thing, whether it's a skin color thing. And the only way we do that is to open up conversation. And the way we open up conversation is where we're using music and we're using dance for the youth to say, hey, let's start using music and dance, whether it's cultural, traditional stuff, or whether it's modern stuff. Let's maybe use that as a medium to start communicating.
I come from Blackstone.
My name is Anthony, I'm from Upton.
All people like learning the young kids to take over this land and countries and the cultures. Teach us to dig hands and governors and go with the grandfathers, and they talk about the dream stories.
I like going to school for sports. I also going to school to get to hang out with my friends. Warburton is my favorite place.
My name is Safina and I'm from Blackstone. I love to dance to make everybody laugh.
My name is Marcia. I'm from Blackstone. We like to learn our kids in both way, like Danang way and Whitefella way, both. We try to
encourage the kids, all the parents, Wataran Kotiruko, to go to school every day and learn. Nintiritako when they pull Karinake, some go job, Yunga Manchilla, and job Manchilla work man. You know, one Palanka, one Karatako, and Nintiritako to read and write.
Never.
And happy life.
So looking at that, Michael, when you went there, now all these, I would put you as an educator, but in the different fields of culture. So you are an educator more in dance and hip hop in music to the outback. Is that right?
That's
And I work at the school making lunch for the children. So I like helping with kids, showing them how to eat healthy foods. May will and to be strong.
My name's Ben and I'm a teacher at Warrakuna School. What we give them is we just give them more opportunities. Obviously they can do pretty well out here by themselves. They can survive. There's a lot of things that they teach me every day and that's part of the reason I'm here, because you learn a lot from the kids as well. But I suppose if they wanted to go to Perth, if they wanted to become a doctor, if they wanted to, it's just giving them that opportunity and hopefully setting them up.
and the people that have worked with them, even the white people that have worked with them, right? The non-Indigenous, you'll hear stories in the landscape of Australia is incredible. It's probably, I mean, I have been not all around the world, but I've been to a lot of this world, different countries, different places, from, islands to beautiful tropical places and all of that. And by far, I'm yet to find somewhere that is as beautiful as Australia.
You told the story about you going to this beautiful part of, I don't know, it was Arnhem Land or it was, and this settlement was there, and you were mainly teaching the youth, isn't it? But still you had to get the okay from the elders. Is that right? To get into all these places. So you had they had a lot of respect for you. They accepted you in their community. What do you mean by when they say the land? Lot of times I hear the Indigenous talking about the land. Can you tell our viewers what you think about the land?
To the community without getting a permit.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to get a permit, and that's usually via a local elder who has been presented with our program, and they turn around and say, yes, this is the program that we want for our children, right? So one of the first tours that we did was in the Kimberleys, and to be honest with you, the chairperson had said yes. That didn't make it difficult when we started the dance, because it was hip hop. Some of the elders came to us and said, oh, what are you guys doing here teaching this different style of dance? Now, the shift happened when we sat down, we spoke to them about what we were doing, and then they actually saw their children, their grandchildren, some of their, nieces and nephews smiling, laughing, being active. They actually turned around and said, what you guys are doing is, yes, it's a very modern way, but it's actually what you're saying to the children is what we're really excited about, is because you're telling them, don't forget your culture, respect yourself, look after your family, and yes, you've got a modern way, but you've got to make sure you remember the cultural way, because that's actually what we deliver. We deliver modern hip hop stuff.
You're talking about yourself. Did you have a team with you, or did you go on your own, Michael, and do it? Do you have a team?
Always with the team.
Yes.
Always with the team. So it's four professional artists, dance artists. So let's say we did the dance project, because we got a few projects that we offer. or that we were offering and we offer. It's the dance project is one of the first things that we started with, and it was four artists, and it's generally two male, two female. There's always an Indigenous representation, so there'll always be an artist that I've discovered or spoken to that is a dancer and they want to get paid or they want to work in these communities. So we offer them a job and they go on through with that, and they work alongside other professional dancers. So we work out choreography, we work out shows, we work out the processes, so policies and procedures of the company, of the things to do, things not to do, because we also have to be culturally appropriate, right? And I'll give you an example. So some of the communities, if there's a girl on our team, she's got to make sure she's wearing like a long sleeve shirt. She can't be wearing short shorts. You know, and like in Arnhem Land, they actually have to wear a long skirt.
Yep.
So, you know, that when they do the performances, they let them wear the long shorts. But if they're just walking around, there's like the floral long skirt has to be worn just to show respect.
That's respect. That is for the.
Yeah.
What is the hierarchy? As you said, there's children, there's youth, there's adults, and there's elders. That's the hierarchy in the Indigenous community. Is that right? Now, who chooses this? The elders. First comes the elders.
So first of all, different parts of Australia have different cultures, different songs. They've got different stories, and they've got different ways of doing things. So it's not like every Indigenous community follows the same thing, right? It's not like this is the Catholic religion. It's not like that. So this is not the Islamic religion. And this is where a lot of people misunderstand.
Community based, or is it land?
Yes.
At the moment, the students are coming together from homelands such as Dalinbui, Kartalala, Kangan. It's a good opportunity for kids to come, share their ideas, work together, knowing each other from some of the remote areas around here, Dirkala.
Welcome to London. Come. I'll tell you.
Yeah, hip hop and traditional, I reckon some similar things as when we do, I'll do example. When we do hip hop, we always have to bend our knees. Bend our knees. The same with traditional, as when they bend their knees, the girls, boys different, but the girls will pick up steps. So it's always you have to. They got a fish, Tim.
A lot of these people, I tell them the story. I will tell you the story about this man. He was telling me about his life and his story, and I had to try my best to stop thinking of. I almost started thinking to myself, "Oh, you poor thing! You've had it so hard. You've done it hard, right?" Then I told him my life in Melbourne, how I get up early every morning. I go to work. I hardly see my family. I've sacrificed so much, and he pat me on the back and he goes to me, "You poor thing."
True, very true.
Right, so it's our perception of things that we really shouldn't be pushing onto other people. And that's my biggest lesson learning from this elder is I love where I am. I love my land. I love how I'm living. And it's perfect. It's perfect the way it is. And, I really got a big lesson in doing that. Who am I to judge to think that, oh, my way is a better way? And hey, so this is where a lot of people say, oh, you've done so much good stuff for these communities. Well, no, actually, these communities have done more for me and my life than what I've done for them. That's honestly how I feel.
Great, Michael. Can you show us some of the what you have taken from these communities and brought it out into mainstream Australia? I know your hip hop you did a lot of big functions and big entertainments, everything. What is your best achievement, you think, with what you took out from the land and brought it out here and showed the kids?
So look, one of the biggest highlights for me is to be able to provide work and inspiration to dancers, especially. Right? We've got a YouTube channel that's got like over 300 videos and documentaries about the landscape of Australia, about the culture and songs that these young people have written, recorded. They're on a video. I've done a lot of, and one of my highlight stuff that I love doing is we used to pick all these young leaders from all over Australia and bring them to Melbourne.
Having a healthy lifestyle, strong mind, make sure you go to school, get an education, learn some knowledge from the elders. To get a strong body, you got to exercise, have some fun, do a little bit of a dance, eat good tucker, strong spirit, make sure you're smiling, constantly talking to everyone, being happy, and strong culture. You guys already know what that is.
So we come up here to teach dance workshops, but as we all know, they've been doing traditional dance for 40,000 plus years, so it's something that's already in their blood, already in their veins. They got moves that are so raw and natural that it really can't be taught when we come. We're just lucky enough that they enjoy what we bring and what we offer.
He was won the Young Australian of the Year. He was on interview the other day on the ABC. He's now, he's on Triple J. He's travelled all Australia doing concerts, using his own language to sing.
And he was one of your students.
Yeah, well, he's an artist, so he was a professional dance artist or a dance. And I remember spending nearly a whole week on the phones, calling his grandfather in Millingimby, trying to find where he is, because he'd left Queensland, Brisbane, and apparently no one could really find. So I spent a whole week just on the phones, literally finding this guy and creating an opportunity and saying, hey, we're holding a camp. We'd love for you to come and be a part of the camp. And that was like 4 or 5 years ago. And in a space of, he came to the camp. So we paid for him to come to the camp. He trained, he did dancing with us for about 2 years maybe. He was traveling all over Australia doing the dance stuff. And after the 2 years, he started writing songs and developed himself as a songwriter, and he's blown up. He's on Triple J, he's on,
That's the achievement, I think, was the best. You can see that it's so great that you have molded these youth. What, as you said, you couldn't find them. You got to find him from his grandfather. You did all that running around. That's what, Michael, I'm saying till today, what you have done, not so many people will die for. Now, Indigenous, because it's, and still you keep on, you still beat your own drum. Still you got a music school, you got dance. In Melbourne, we all enjoy your salsa dancing, but the work you put in with the Indigenous is really great. And that's what really touches me. And all this footage, what you have given me, really shows the people who don't know, as you said, we all just look at the media and the pictures, but you are showing us exactly what are the grassroots of the community, what is out there, and that's the best thing we can share to everyone. And thank you, Michael, for that. Michael, before we go, what's those lovely paintings behind you?
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to talk to you about. It's like I believe you just open up or create an opportunity, right, for whether Indigenous or non-Indigenous, because that's my thing. It's just to create something for youth, because I believe, this is my belief, is a child from birth right up until 10 years old, 11 years old, I think they listen, we've got enough, they're looked after, right? Then from the 12, 13-year-old to 25, I think is the most detrimental time for youth to either go the right way or, I believe, the wrong way. And I think that's been my passion, to work with youth, to inspire them to go, hey, you're going to maybe do some wrong things, but remember, you can always come back and go on the right track, right? Because between body change, hormones, life, as we all know, we've all experienced it, where, from the ages of 13 to even 18, it's a very, very hard time, and it's a very confusing time. And I think if we as adults can create opportunities for our youth, then maybe more of them will take the right path, which I see the positive in that. I see that the majority of our youth that actually do the right thing and take the positive path, even though sometimes they go off the track. And yes, I'm not going to sit there with, rose-colored glasses and say that all of them come out great. No, yes, we've got high levels of youth in our prison system, right? I understand that, but when you compare that to the good that youth are doing, then we got to try to keep it as positive as we can. And so another dancer who's worked for our company, he's actually originally from Brisbane and was coming to do work here, and we flew him over here to Melbourne to do his work, to dance, because he's an incredible contemporary. So he does traditional contemporary style dance, and he's a beautiful mover.
Yeah, we'll put him up.
So he started because of lockdown and isolation. He started being creative with artwork, and these two pieces you see behind me, they're part of his work. I'll call him over.
Wow, his video, that's excellent to have somebody, a real artist there. You are an artist, Michael. You are an educator. What can I say? You are a holistic educator, because you are teaching these young people not one skill, but a holistic, you're looking at it like that. And with all your experience, you're doing a great job, mate. Keep it up.
I'll just leave to call him. You guys can have a quick keep looking at the artwork for 1 second.
So that is an Indigenous painting. What I know about Indigenous paintings, because I collect a bit of our Aboriginal artwork, it's every painting has a story. If you look at that painting, there's the artist come. Let him explain.
Yeah, I'll get Bala to come through and he can talk to you. Yeah. Do you want the earpiece to talk to him?
Yeah, Bala can hear me. Hi.
Hello.
That's okay. Come, Bala. Yeah, this way a little bit. Hi, Bala.
Hello, how you going?
Good, thank you. We know you're a great dancer. We saw your videos, the contemporary dancing, your traditional dancing, everything. And now due to lockdown, Michael says you put your hand to painting, and again, success. Those paintings are amazing. Can you tell us the story? I was just telling my audience, every Aborigine painting has a story.
Yes.
Is that right, Bala?
Yes, that's true. Every artist has a story behind their paintings that represents their land or the animals or the surroundings. But for me, my painting's more like a traditional contemporary style. And just started painting during isolation.
Excellent. So, as you're saying, because that art piece which you have painted just behind you now, the colors are vibrant, they are traditional, and they look like it's the one with there's no the story about the water hole and the people around it and the spears. That's what I have some paintings, and I got a lot of it's written about that. So that's why I thought if you tell the audience a little bit about that painting behind what you have done. Yep, that one. Yep.
So, well, this one has two stories.
Tell us the story. Tell us the story.
Michael and his wife Amanda, they were inspired by the colors, and I was inspired by their story. So they saw like two goannas.
Two iguanas, yeah.
Coming to a meeting ground, and it's almost like when the iguanas touch the water, the ripple effects.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you've seen the movie Avatar with the blue people. Yeah, so how it's all vibrant and colorful.
Coming into it.
Yeah, so that's like the contemporary style coming into it. But also, the other story is seeing a tree. So from a bird's eye view is a trunk and the branches reaching out, and yeah, the colors and the flowers there.
Yeah, that's excellent. As you said, people don't understand that you all have so much of, as Michael saying, the land has so much of a story. Your culture has each in one place. Like Anna, there's about 8 languages. There's different stories. Each one is having a different story. Where are you originally from?
That's true. I'm a Waka Waka Gungalu man, and my family's from Queensland, Central Queensland.
Yeah, and where's Central Queensland?
Yes, Central Queensland.
Yep, and the land. And then where did you do your art, your dancing and everything? Where did you?
So I started the performing arts industry about 10 years ago in Brisbane at a performing arts centre called ACPA, which stands for the Aboriginal Centre for Performing Arts. And that's where we as developing artists learned how to do contemporary, ballet, jazz, hip-hop, also acting, music. And yeah, we learned how to work in the theatre and with professional people around Australia.
So that was an art school, like the Melbourne Art School. That was a contemporary dance and art school for the Aboriginal people.
Yes.
What was it called? ACPA. Yep.
Yes, ACPA. Yep.
ACPA. Excellent. And from your community, how many students you think were there, and who all? Because you all must have had great teachers, and you all guys the rhythm is in you. And I can see the dances. I've been to a lot of Michael's concerts, and Michael puts everything together so well. But the main people who are doing it is you guys. He always learns from y'all. Y'all are doing really a good job, and I can see your dancing style and your completely two diversities. You can do the traditional and you're doing the contemporary. And you're saying how many years was this course you did in the school? How many years was your course?
So I was a developing artist for over 5 years.
See, look at that. It's a full-time 5 years course, and you stuck with it. And that's why today you are what you are. That's what advice you will give the youth. Doesn't matter if they're Indigenous or any youth. What would you give them? What advice would you give them now, Bal?
The advice that I give to my youth today is just believe. Know who you are and what you want, and just believe. Just have faith in what you believe. That's what I would say to the young people today.
And that's brought you a long way.
Yeah, just believing in myself. Because I had to. I grew up in a rough environment, and that's all I had was my belief, and I learned to be strong and learn, be open-minded, and just learn along the way. Look, listen, and learn. That was the main 3 things that I've learned from my community. The 3 L's and the big R. So look, listen, learn, and respect.
I think we all should learn that from you, if we take that. And what about your teacher, Michael? What do you have to say about him? Michael, come this side, Michael. We want to see you. Come closer. Yeah. And your teacher, what do you... you're very close to... You're very close to Michael. I see him, every time I see him, he has somebody there from maybe Arnhem Land or
Yeah, Michael's a great friend, father figure. He's a great man that provides a lot of opportunity and uniting a lot of First Nation artists from all over Australia, and providing opportunity to go and travel into communities to teach and empower next generation. So yeah, very, very blessed and honored to
We all are blessed to have Michael. Till today, all our dances are Indian dances, everything. Michael is there dancing. We'll just show you something what he does for us. This year, however, Michael, no dances, man. This year, I think.
We're dancing now.
The paintings. And I'm going to tell my audience, anybody who's interested in any of these Indigenous paintings, please let us know. I'll put Michael on, and I'll get you those paintings. Bala says, as he's in lockdown now, he's not doing much dancing. He's not doing much. He's changed into, he's doing this art. So if you like anything, please let us know. We'll get Bala to give it to you. And it's great to have a conversation with you all. I hope things get better soon, and we'll all come back and watch you all dancing. And we'll see you all soon. Michael, thank you for your time, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bala.
Thank you. Peace.
Thank you, all loved ones. Hope you enjoyed this episode with your host, Norman. You can subscribe and find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and our website, normanbroadcast.com.